Hey, this is Matthew Doyle for Scaleform. Today I'm going to talk to you a little about the new 3D Flash extensions you can find in GFx 3.2 and up. So let's take a look at an example or two of 3DI in action before we get started. Here we have a cool looking futuristic interface by our resident Flash artist Sven. But what makes the interface even cooler is that we can now rotate it in 3D thanks to our new 3DI extensions. You'll also notice that many of the individual elements are translated on the Z-axis, popping them out and giving depth to the interface. We also have an in-game demo of 3DI using the Unreal Development Kit. This entire menu is offset and animated in 3D. Likewise, the HUD elements here are in 3D. And finally, this cool inventory pop-up is fully 3D. You can see an example of this type of 3D interface in the game Dead Space. Okay, so let's go into Flash and talk a little about each of the 6 extensions. I've got the flattened interface Sven built right here. This is a group of movie clips all nested into a single movie clip called HUD. Each movie clip is just composed of a PNG file. Let's take a look at the ActionScript. But don't be intimidated by all this script. We're only really interested in a few functions in this tutorial. These two functions, rotate about x-axis and rotate about y-axis, rotate the main movie clip. Both functions are called automatically every frame. We pass the movie clip to be rotated to these functions, in this case HUD. The clip is then rotated on the x-axis via the extension _x rotation. For the y-axis, we use, you guessed it, _y rotation. Simple as that. You could pass a specific amount of degrees, such as _x rotation equals 50. But, in this case, we set the value of rotation to the current rotation value plus the value stored in either x-anim or y-anim, depending upon which axis we're rotating on. X-anim and y-anim are just variables holding a value in degrees. So, in the case of x rotation, we tell GFX to rotate the movie clip an additional 0.025 degrees every frame. The rest of the script in this function checks to see if the movie clip has rotated beyond a threshold value, stored in the variable xthresh, and if it has, it flips the x-anim value. This in turn causes the movie clip to begin rotating in the opposite direction on the x-axis. If I publish the file directly to our Flash player, we can see the rotation in action. Pretty slick, huh? The third extension I'd like to cover is _perspFOV, short for Perspective Field of View. This extension controls the perspective distortion of a 3D object. The lower this value, the less the distortion, and conversely, the higher the value, the more perspective distortion you'll get. If you don't set this value, it defaults to a field view of 55. If you do set it, it can be no less than 1 and no greater than 179. So anywhere between 1 and 179 is an acceptable value. For instance, if I set the perspective field of view for the HUD movie clip to 20, we get very little distortion when the movie clip is rotated. But if I go back and set it to, say, 100, you can see the distortion effect is much more pronounced. 3 down, 3 to go. The next 2 extensions are used to translate movie clips along the Z-axis. In Flash, we can normally translate a movie clip on the X and Y axis using _X and _Y respectively. Now, we're also able to translate on the Z-axis using _Z. A positive value here will translate the movie clip away from the screen, while a negative value will translate it toward the screen. Take this movie clip for instance, button _DR. I'll set its Z translation to -5000. This brings the button _DR movie clip further out from the rest of the interface. We can also alter the scale of any Z translation using the _Z scale extension. This extension functions identically to _Y scale and _X scale. It defaults to 100 or a 1-to-1 ratio. So, if I set it to 50, we can see that the movie clip only translates on the z-axis, about half as far as it would normally. If I set z-scale to 500 or 5:1, it translates 5 times further than it would at the default of 100. These 5 extensions give you pretty much everything you need to translate and animate Flash elements in 3D. But wait, there's one more, _matrix 3D. Now whenever you apply any of the previous 3D extensions to a movie clip, GFX will automatically apply a 3D matrix to that movie clip and bring it into 3D space. After that, the only way to return the movie clip to 2D is to set that matrix to null. This can be achieved with something like this, HUD._matrix 3D equals null. Now matrix 3D allows you to set the complete 3D transform of an object using an array of 16 floating point numbers, making it a 4x4 matrix. Most of you will never use this extension and instead control the movie clips using the previous 5 extensions. But for special cases, we provide this extension as a low-level option for the programmers out there who may wish to create some unique transformations. But that sums up all the extensions. As a final caveat, bear in mind that 3D properties are applied before 2D properties on any movie clip that has both. Knowing this will help you achieve the desired results when rotating objects in both 2D and 3D space. 3DI is also available from C++. Check out the 3DI help doc for more information on that. 3DI does have a few limitations, but those limitations are really no different than those of Adobe's Flash 10 3D. First off, there is no depth sorting. As a result, when rotating or translating movie clips, they may not be drawn in the right order over or under other movie clips as expected. This is because the draw order is determined by the layer orders in Flash, not their position in 3D space. Second, there is no backface culling. So when you rotate a movie clip, the backside will be drawn. Now unless this is the effect you want, it's best to avoid rotating movie clips beyond 90 degrees in either direction. 3DI is out of the box ready for 3D capable TVs and monitors. In fact, with NVIDIA's 3D Vision Kit on the PC, Scaleform 3DI works quite well already. For consoles, however, your app will need to call GFX display twice, once for each eye. Check out the 3DI doc for more info. Alright, I hope this tutorial has been of some use to you guys. This is Matthew Doyle for Scaleform, signing off.